Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
The inhabitants of the Arabian Peninsula were of two kinds: the nomadic desert dweller, Bedouin, and the city dweller. Tribal lives and customs prevailed all over Arabia, even among the more civilized kingdoms of that region, such as the Kingdom of Yemen in the south and the Kingdom of Al-Hira in the northeast, and the Kingdom of Al-Ghassasina in the northwest. A tribe was a group of people who were linked to one another through blood relation. It was the laws and customs of each tribe that dictated the relation between the individual and the group, as well as the rights that were due to and obligatory upon, depending on the case, each member of the tribe. For example, the chief of a tribe had many rights over his people, but they too had rights over him. There were a number of factors that made a tribe member suitable for the position of chief: his status, generosity, character, bravery, and so on. The chief of a given tribe had the right to be honored and obeyed by his people. If there was a dispute, his judgment was final. He had monetary rights as well. 1/4 of the spoils of war belonged to him. Before the distribution of the spoils of war, he had the right to choose specific items for himself. Whatever was taken from an enemy before battle belonged to him. Whatever form of wealth from the spoils of war could not be distributed belonged to him. These rights did not come without a price. The chief had many duties that he had to fulfill, some of which effectively nullified the benefits of the aforementioned monetary rights. During time of peace, he was expected to be very generous of his fellow tribesmen, and in war he was expected to fight in the front lines. Also, it was his duty and right to enact peace agreements when doing so was for the benefit of the tribe. Living under tribal laws and customs, the average tribesman lived a life of freedom, having to answer to no one as long as he harmed no one, and as such it became a part of the nature of Arabs to love freedom and to hate injustice and subservience. Every individual member of a given tribe fought for all of the other members. More honor for the tribe meant more honor for the individual tribesman. On the downside of this arrangement, one automatically supported his fellow tribesmen regardless of whether they were in the right or in the wrong. Thus, in some regards, the individual tribesman was considered more as a member of the tribe than as an individual. Each individual tribe had its own status and political reality, and depending on its situation, it waged war against or formed alliances with other tribes. War was a constant reality among Arabs. Among the most famous of wars in their history was the War of Fijar. But other than major wars, minor skirmishes or attacks were commonplaces. A member of one tribe might attack a member of another tribe for personal motives such as revenge, or one tribe might attack another tribe for profit. The livelihood of some tribes actually depended upon the practice of attacking other tribes and taking all of their possessions by force. After such ruthless attacks took place, homes and entire villages were left empty, as if no one had lived there the day before.